Oh, hi, Kay. It's a nice camera angle of our Ivy there, isn't it? But we're out of harm's way. It doesn't look like I can change the brightness. That's a bit bad. Hey Pete, I'm hoping to bring the channel back soon. Life's been getting in the way recently. It's been fairly hectic, but I do want to do more live streams. Hence me setting this setup up, and yeah, I've got more videos in the pipeline, so I will be coming back. It's just a case of when my life slows down a bit and I'm able to actually do it. Wish there was a way to change the brightness on this camera though, because that is just white. So you're not going to see much, eh? Webcam properties. Where's my webcam properties? Sorry for the camera shake, by the way. I got my 3D printer running, and that makes my table wobble. Oh, that's a bit better. If I can cover the light a bit. Although that means I can't see Jack. It's a bit of a bugger. Anyhow. Nope, it's just pure white, isn't it? Okay, so first on the shopping list is a light that isn't quite so bright as that. Wallace, this is a Sideshow Collectibles Poison Ivy statue figurine thing. If I tilt that, look, you can see my messy desk, but you can also see the rest of it. And I bought it many years ago and never liked the paint job really, so I'm just redoing it. That's not too bad. That's a bit better. Well, there you go. Look, she's not just a mass of white now. So if I angle that a bit more that way. Hey, that's more like it. Right. Let's fire up the old compressor. You can tell I wasn't prepared for this at all. Got no air in the compressor. Got no paints out, but hey. So how are we all doing anyway? All right? I'll give that a second to charge up. Now, need to sort the eyes out because they are too pink. But they just got overspray all over them when I was spraying the skin tone. So, color, what color? Get a bit of grey. I was told never to do eyes pure brilliant white. Hey Ken, all right mate. I've been busy doing tattoos and stuff. I'm for this I'm playing with, God, that light is so bright, isn't it? Jesus Christ, there you go. I'm playing with Vallejo, however you're supposed to pronounce it. Playing with these paints for this. And apologies for the noise in the background, it's my printer. Actually, Pete, I've had this Iwata for, God, a good couple of years now. And I've still got the old trusty H&S. There she is. Most of the chrome's come off her. She's done a lot of stuff for me, this little brush. But yeah, the Iwata is a bit better, I must admit. But it's in a completely different price range from what I believe. It's been a while since I've had a look. But yeah, it's good. They are both very capable airbrushes. Out of the two, if I had the money, I would go for the Iwata. The H&S is kind of still the poor man's Micron, as they call it. It's a little bit of Vallejo grey. I'm going to do 5 drops of that with wherever I've put it. With a couple of drops of white because it's too dark. Yeah, I was always told never to use pure white on eyes. always go for like an off-white. That way you can add an intense white dot to make them look wet. Whereas if you go in there and just paint it white, then your highlight isn't going to show up because it's all white. All right? 5 drops of grey, 5 drops of white, and a shit ton of reducer, because that's how I roll. This is where I shake it and get it all over the model and all over my laptop, and it's all live on the internet. Cool, that's spraying. Right then, let's see if I can spray this while keeping it in frame, while not getting it everywhere, and without it going like a pure white glare. This isn't going to be easy at all, is it? Note to self, get a duller light. Can you see that? There you go, she's got a grey eye now. Yeah, that's better. Let's see if I can get this on camera without it glaring out and wobbling everywhere. There you go, so the pink in the eyes is gone. It will get quieter in a minute. As soon as my compressors fill up and my 3D printer stops. There we go, that's the compressor done. And only another 69 hours to go on the printer. Only joking. It's only about an hour left. Right, now I'm just getting some pure white. Just stuck some white in there. 5 drops of it. Got 5 drops of the reducer. Just to let it flow a bit better, because we don't want it to all over her face. So I hate getting white stuff going all over her face. It's just not a done thing. I do plan on streaming actual canvas paintings and stuff at some point. This just happened to be what I was working on right now. Can you use masking like when painting a panel? You can. I find it's a lot harder though. What I tend to use, believe it or not, is trusty old blue tack. That way you can mold it around to the, like if I needed to mask off her forehead, you can just get a thin bit of that, stick it on, and then use some of these sculpting tools to like shape it and that lot. And I find that works quite well. Right, so we've got some nicely reduced white in there. And let's see if I can put a white fade right in the middle of her eyes without getting it everywhere. but not too much, because as I say, you don't want to go back to pure white. You want it to still be a bit grey. I will get used to everything being backwards on here as well. There she is, all blurry. Yeah, it works well, Wallace. I can't remember where I saw it now. I think it was Vince somebody or other. He's got a YouTube channel. Vince Veal, I think. I might have that wrong, but yeah, have a search. He does a lot of sculpture repaints and stuff like that. And I've picked up a lot of tips and tricks from him. Okay, so that's the eyes sorted out. I've got some little tiny transfers for the actual pupils, rather than trying to paint them and screwing it up, which I probably would. They're really good, fiddly, but really good. And it also means that if the eye's wet, you can move them around so that she doesn't look a bit cross-eyed or anything, or have lazy eye syndrome, which never looks good on a pretty model. Right, I've got to darken down some bits of the hair. But what do I use for it? I'm reckon a candy blue would look nice. Pop that in there so I don't bend the needle. Get my pack of paints. Candy blue. Now, do I need to water this down, or is it all right as it is? Not bad. Let's see what it looks like on a bit that is going to be hidden. Oh yeah, that works pretty well. Cool, we'll go with that. So I just need to darken up some areas because her hair looks quite flat at the moment, where it's all one colour. It's carmine red, and then put a brown wash over it, very watered down brown, so it's kind of seeped into all the little recesses and stuff. But it still looks too flat, so we need to add a bit of depth in there. So like, gonna go in with the candy blue underneath her fringe, yeah, just in like the recesses sort of thing. I hope I don't get it all over her forehead. That's another thing I've found with switching to 3D models rather than a flat canvas. The air, especially with doing something like this, it will go in there and then like create a little whirlwind, and you'll find that overspray goes in places you never thought it would go. Because of course you don't get that on a flat canvas or a fuel tank or anything like that, because they tend to be pretty flat. There we go. It looks quite drastic on the camera, but it's nice and subtle, isn't it? In real life. No, I'm not being shot. That's my printer. There you go. So you see just there, just where I've just put a little bit of blue candy in these recesses here, just to give it a bit more depth. Give it a bit of flow, like. And this is definitely one of those cases where less is more. You really don't want to overdo this. Because I've recently repainted all her skin tones because I overdid them drastically. And she ended up looking like she had had a horrific accident in a fake tan shop. And it's so easily done. Another thing I found with working with actual 3D models is what you would necessarily put on a flat canvas. To say like flesh tones, you start with a flesh tone and then you put maybe a little bit of red, a little bit of orange, a little bit of brown and all that lot. It doesn't work on a 3D surface. Her whole skin is 2 colours, believe it or not, which are, if they're not too blown out and pure white on the camera. Yes, no, yes, no. Oh, there you go. Just those 2 for her flesh. That was it. So no reds, no oranges, nothing like that. Just literally a light flesh and a slightly darker flesh, but only just slightly. Because it's very easy to go too dark on a 3D surface. It's an awful camera angle. I must apologise, guys. I'll have to sort that out. Like I say, it was just a test to see how this rig looks, which is basically a webcam strapped to my light. And yeah, that doesn't work very well. We'll have to go back to the drawing board for the actual setup, I think. It's too bright, it's too shaky. The angle's all right, but not brilliant. Work in progress, as they say. So have I missed anything exciting in the world of airbrushing while I've been away? Well, I say I've been away, but I've been keeping an eye from afar. You never lost me. And I'm still doing the reviews for Pinstriping magazine, Pinstriping and Custom Graphics. That probably sounds like I've got explosive diarrhea. It's my printer on it. Cheers, mate. Yeah, you can kind of see it on the camera. Yeah, I've got to get a better light or a different camera angle, one of the two. Probably a different camera angle would help. Or get one of my photography lights so it's not so focused. A little bit of overspray of the blue on our forehead, but can easily sort that out. So I'm thinking of doing a painting of Stan Lee, and I shall stream it, of course. That way, one, it's a flat canvas, so we won't have any of this light glare or anything like that. And two, because he was awesome. So I'll probably make that my first official comeback paint job, so to speak. And with any luck, I'll be able to start that tomorrow night, but we shall see. Depends how busy I am tomorrow at work. Right. So next up, I'm gonna need that little beastie. What's this? A paintbrush rather than an airbrush? Surely not. Sometimes you just gotta get the hairy brush out. Just going in with the candy blue again in some of the really recessed areas, like in there and across there, just adding a very faint line of blue because I like the way it looks rather than a black for the shadows on this red. It's another thing I try not to do when painting a model. One, don't go pure white on the eyes, but two, don't use much black. Try and use different colours. So like, for instance, this, rather than a black on the red, I'm using a blue. And it gives you a very different effect, which is not always brilliant, but quite often really does look the part. Sleep hour, yeah. Yeah, I have been planning to come back for a while, but unfortunately life just got in the way. Tiny little white dot on her lipstick, make it look like it's shiny. Now, ideally, white is going to be too bright for the highlights on her hair. It's another thing I like about painting models. You do a little highlight or something like that, find it doesn't look great, you wipe it off with your finger. Brilliant. Or if you want to just tone it down a bit, like that. Right, so I'm going to need some sort of pink. And I don't have that in these Vallejo paints, so out with the trusty Createx. Where's the tentacle pink from? I know I've got a tentacle pink here somewhere. Hello, pink. Nope, not that one. Here, pink. There she goes. Pink. God, the shake you're getting off my printer is ridiculous now. Jesus. It's at 85%. There's not far to go. Mental note, don't have the 3D printer running when you stream. I think we'll dry brush this pink. Not a great deal. Looks more harsh than it actually is on camera. But in the wise words of Gina G, I think it was, who are just a little bit. Very handy technique, dry brushing. For those of you who don't know what it is, if you get paint on your brush, you wipe it 99% of it off on the tissue, like you saw me do there, and then you just lightly brush over the highlights or the raised areas on your model. And although it looks really drastic on the camera, if I stop it from wobbling, there you go, you can see it kind of on there and over here. It just puts a tiny bit of paint on the raised areas. For instance, if I do it here, look, hopefully the camera will pick it up. It's magic. Takes me back to the old days when I used to paint Warhammer figures when I was young. So yeah, I'll end this stream in a minute because, like I say, it was just a test. So I know I've got to dim my light down. I've got to work on the lighting, and probably get a much better camera angle as well. But I'll come back tomorrow evening, say about probably about 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock, something like that. And I'll do a live stream of me doing a painting of Stan Lee. That'll be a good one. So I'll sketch up the basics tonight, so that tomorrow you haven't got to sit there watching me draw. You can just crack on with the painting and see the good stuff, as they say. There you go, you can see the effect this has been having with the tentacle pink from the what's it called, Tim Gore Bloodline range. Damn good paints. What time would that be? East Coast Standard Time, US. About now, mate. It's currently 3 minutes to 6 p.m. over here in the UK. So it would be roughly now. But I'll do what I did today. I'll put up a little post on Facebook and Twitter and all that malarkey to say, I'm going live, come and stare at someone do something wrong. A very fine line between having too much paint on your paintbrush and not having enough when it comes to dry brushing. You have to be very careful. Wow. Thanks, Pete. It's nice to be here, mate. It's really nice to know that all my followers are still out there, because it's been a good few years since I've been on YouTube, really. The whole tattooing just took over. What type of bristles on the brush? This is a brush by Games Workshop themselves. They do those little figures for Warhammer and that lot, and the bristles on this are very stiff. They got very little give to them at all. I suppose you could use your own if you had a brush, I don't know, like that one for instance. You could just cut off the bristles nice and short so that they're nice and stiff. You want something that's got very little give, really. Unless you've got a Games Workshop near you or whatever and can go buy one of their dry brushes. This one's called a large dry brush. But any brush with stiff bristles will do the job. Not too stiff, obviously, because you don't want to scratch your model, but stiff enough so that they don't conform to the model's shape, sort of thing. You just want it to brush over the higher ridges to pick out those details. Which, of course, you can't do this with an airbrush, especially not on this scale. That would just be impossible. The airbrush is an amazing tool. I love it to bits, but there's just some things it can't do, like make you a cup of tea. It'd be nice if I worked on that, an airbrush that would make you a cuppa. That'd be great. Yeah, you would be very rich. Maybe I'll work on that in my spare time. The new Iwata HP T42 or T41. Other brands of airbrush are available. Looking good. So what paints you guys using these days? Are Createx still ruling the roost, or has there been a new player on the market while I've been away? Is Trident still a thing? Are they still out and about? Good old Dan Power. I haven't spoken to him in years. The only downside with switching to tattooing, I've lost touch with all the old airbrush buddies. It's a shame. That's the joys of being a tattooist. Your phone never stops. People are always like, "Why don't you answer my message?" It's like, because I've got another 100 to reply to before yours. Yeah, I really have been out of the scene for a long time, Pete. What's it been? I've been airbrushing. I've been tattooing for 4 years now, something like that. I mean, I've still been airbrushing in spare time, but I haven't been actively following the scene or whatever. I haven't been to any conventions or anything, which I'd like to do more. It's a shame that the Custom Culture Blast Off is so far away. Oh, Wallace, you're new to the scene. Well, welcome to the world of airbrushing, mate. How long have you been going, Wallace? Have you been going for long, or are you literally brand spanking new into the world? Brand spanking new, yeah. Got yourself an airbrush yet? What kit you got? I think you mentioned it before, didn't you, at the beginning? Or was that someone else? Is money better, or do you prefer it over airbrushing? I prefer airbrushing, but I do love tattooing. I've always wanted to be a tattooist since I was, blimey, 11, something like that. My uncle had a mate who did tattooing, and I thought it was the best job in the freaking world. But when I went looking for an apprenticeship, I couldn't find one, and that's when I picked up an airbrush, and that completely took over. But tattooing was always the dream. The money is an awful lot better. When I wouldn't say gave up airbrushing, but when I stopped doing it 24/7 and switched to tattooing, I was lucky to make enough to cover my rent from the airbrushing. It was getting very quiet because there was just so many people doing it, and I can earn in one day tattooing what I used to earn in a month airbrushing. So, although not at the moment, it's all gone quiet because Christmas is coming. Everybody's skint, including me. You're still looking at Kits Wallace. Well, don't let anybody tell you what you should be using. Just go out there and give as many airbrushes a try as you can. If you've got mates that airbrush, ask if you can have a go with their brushes. And only you will know what's good for you. People can give you their opinion, like, I said earlier, the Iwata Micron, I think, is better than the Harder and Steenbeck Infinity, but not everybody's got that sort of money to drop on an airbrush. So in that case, the Harder and Steenbeck is a very, very capable airbrush, So people can give you their advice, but just get out there and give as many airbrushes a try as you can, and then only you will know what's right for you. Yeah, got to keep food on the table, mate. Keep paying the rent and all that lot. I mean, the tattooing's great, don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore getting up every day and going to a job that I love and have always wanted to do. But as far as being able to just get your creative juices flowing and not having to worry about extra stuff like skin trauma or clients passing out and whatever, you don't get that with a fuel tank or a canvas. Or a guitar, of course. I haven't painted a guitar in freaking ages. That may have to change very soon. Been getting withdrawal symptoms. Not for the lacquering though. God, I don't miss that. Tell us a crazy tattoo story. Oh, I haven't really got that many, to be honest. My boss had a good one once. He had a chap come in who, I don't know, he was acting like he was on something. He didn't seem like he was all there, but we weren't quite sure. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt, and he only wanted a name tattooed on him. So the boss was like, all right, then I'll do it for you, no problem. And about 10 minutes into the tattoo, something like that, the guy passes out. And it takes forever to come back round. And when he finally comes back round, he proceeds to throw up in my boss's bin. That was fun. I've had one person throw up once. Poor lass, it was her first tattoo years ago now when I was doing my apprenticeship. And she, like I say, it was her first tattoo, and she got herself all worked up and nervous, whenever you turn around to your mates, I'm getting a tattoo, they were like, ooh, that's going to hurt. So, of course, she was really nervous, thought I was going to absolutely slaughter her. And she ended up throwing up while I was setting my machines up and stuff. But other than that, there's no real stories to tell, really. I had a guy wanted his girlfriend's name tattooed down the side of his penis once. I didn't do that one. We politely refused to do that one. There's just some tattoos you're just like, nah. Do a lot of people pass out? Not a lot, but I mean, you get a couple a month, I would say. It's not uncommon, but it's not desperately common. Most of the time, it's from people not putting enough sugar in their body. You know, like the last one I had pass out was a mum, bless her. Her little baby was really ill, so she had been up all night with the baby, and then come straight to me for a tattoo. So she hadn't had anything to eat, hardly any sleep, nothing. So her body was running on empty, and then she passed out. So it's just a case of looking after yourself before you tattoo. Don't go out on a bender the night before, because then you bleed all the ink out. The printer is at 98% now, so it'll shut up in a minute. Yay! Yeah, that would have been cool, wouldn't it? Gotta be careful I don't put it down on her nose, because it could chip the paint off. See, an intelligent guy would have got a bit of sponge or something put on the desk here, so that when I do put it down, it's not on this glass. But that would have been an intelligent bloke, and I don't know where we're going to find one of them at such short notice. So you all ready for Christmas? Because I ain't. I haven't even started yet. My daughter's nice and easy to buy for, but I'm really stuck with what to get my son. and the wife. I just don't know. Normally she gives me a hint what she wants. Not this year. She's making me use my brain, which, as you know from watching all my YouTube videos, it doesn't work out well. But look at that, the printer's finished. Hooray! I now have 1/2 of a bracket for my laptop to be attached to the wall. Get a cleaning supplies, they love that. Yeah, I like one of those, the shape it is though, that's the only problem. I'm not a fan of having my testicles in my throat. Yeah, that's good. It's good. Bloody marvelous. Right then. I reckon I'm going to end it there then, guys. I will go and research better camera angles and not so much glare off of this damn light. It's great for me, but it's not so great for you because it's just a whiteout. So, like I say, I'll come back on tomorrow evening about this time and paint a Stan Lee painting. We'll have a giggle with that. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. All right, cheers, guys.